Joining us today is Rick Carter, Site Business Manager, Newmont Waihi Gold, Newmont Asia Pacific, who will be speaking at IIR's UnderMINE Underground Operators Summit, 28th to the 29th of June in Fremantle. Hello Rick, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Firstly, how can principal and contractor interests best be aligned using the alliance contract model?
Well, the two parties need to have a meeting of minds, creating a situation where both parties are happy, creates a healthy environment for achieving operating goals. It's important to create a remuneration structure that's fair. One party is thriving, then so should the other one, and vice versa. In our experience, imbalance quickly causes rifts. People are of the utmost importance, and that starts at the top. The senior representatives on site from both the principal and contractor must have a good working relationship, and they must trust and respect the decisions of the other. It's important to minimise the principal-contractor distinction. It must be blurred for all but the key commercial discussions. Even in commercial discussions, both parties need to be able to keep their dignity.
What are some of the key challenges faced in contractor alliance management?
Well, preventing a them versus us environment from emerging is paramount. It's hard to do, and sometimes it requires new personalities and a reinvigoration of the relationship. The alliances can go stale over time if efforts are not made to keep them sharp. Over time, the circumstances of the parties can change. The focus on safety of one of the parties may change, or the HR strategy, or the financial position. It's challenging not to allow this to affect the dynamics of the alliance. Ensuring the interests of both parties stay aligned is a challenge. Both parties are first and foremost interested in achieving the objectives of their organisations. There's a natural friction that needs to be balanced with some give and take from both parties.
How can long-range sustainable alliances be created between parties?
Well, when entering alliances, it's useful for the two parties to sit down and align their organisation's mission statements and values. This will highlight any similarities or difference between the operating philosophies of the partners. It's also important to have a flexible alliance agreement that can be adapted to suit the changing circumstances. The use of an oversight committee comprising of senior representatives of both organisations can be useful to adjudicate on changes to the agreement or to interpretations. The use of flexible schedules such as changeable KPIs is useful to ensure that alignment of the interests is maintained over time. Both parties need to nominate quality people to manage the relationship. A mismatch of talent and a breakdown in the relationship between the senior representative on site for the contractor and principal can singly derail the alliance relationship.
How does performance management operate in a heterogeneous workforce?
Well, this is challenging. The HR and performance management systems of the parties will inevitably differ. Depending on the time frame and the scale of the alliance, it may be worth setting up a separate joint venture with its own HR systems and processes. It ultimately starts at the shift bosses, the foremen and the project managers. They need to have the backing to know that they can manage the staff irrespective of who employs them.
How can a mine build a one-team synchronised mentality?
Well, it starts with mutual respect between the two parties, and particularly the site representatives for the principal and the contractor. These two people define the relationship. Then a mature best-of-breed appraisal of the two organisations' systems and procedures can occur to decide how to build the team and the relationship. Branding is an obvious requirement to define the team as one, as is the alignment of the workplace conditions.
You're speaking at IIR's UnderMINE Summit 2010, 28th to 29th of June in Fremantle. What will you be discussing in your presentation?
Look, I'll be discussing how Newmont and HWE have implemented an alliance arrangement, the Fremantle Underground at Waihi, and this will include the underpinning theory and the lessons learned.
Rick Carter, many thanks for speaking with us today.
Cheers, James.